Hello friends, now we will discuss the address data bus demultiplexing of Intel microprocessor 8085. What is our objective? The objective would be the need for address data bus demultiplexing, the latch used for demultiplexing, various components used, and explanation of the circuit involved. Now, what was the need for demultiplexing? In Intel 8080 and 8085, which are very similar, have similar instructions and similar number of pins. In 8080, the concept of interrupt was missing. In 8085, the concept of interrupt was introduced, but the designers didn't want to change the architecture significantly. Hence, they multiplexed the lower order address bus A7 to A0 with the data bus D7 to D0. The 8-bit bus was released and interrupt controller pins were then connected with those released pins. This is the architecture of 8080. You can very well see that there was a dedicated 16-bit address bus, there was a dedicated 8-bit data bus. But in the case of 8085, the lower order address bus and the data bus were time multiplexed and only the upper address bus was dedicated. Now let's see in how the demultiplexing can be achieved, and if at all we need to use the data bus, we have to demultiplex the data bus and the lower order address bus. Now there is a latch that has been used for data address bus demultiplexing, and it is the D-latch. We all know how the D-latch performs. Now suppose the D-latch is presently disabled, that is, if the enable pin of the D-latch is connected to lower logic, whatever be the input at D, the output will hold the last state. So when the D-latch is enabled, whatever is there at D, irrespective of the previous state, it will be followed at the output. As you can see, when it is 1, irrespective of the previous state, the Q follows the input. Similarly, when it is 1, the Q follows the input. Now, how it is carried out in 8085? In 8085, there is an octal latch, since there are 8 pins altogether, and I have only shown one of the octal latch, and it is understood that there are other 8 latches here inside. Now the upper address bus is dedicated, but what happens to the lower order address bus? It is time multiplexed. So in order to use it separately, we need to demultiplex it. So the ALE pin of the microprocessor is directly connected to the enable input. AD0 to AD7 are connected to other 8 latches inside. The output of the Q bar is connected to the inverted buffer. Now what happens is, suppose we have a address available at the upper address bus, which is E0, and 6A at the lower order address bus, and if AL is 1, the entire information will be transferred to the output. How? Suppose this is 0, and when the enable is 1, the output will be 1, since it is taken from the complement output. If the input is 0, the output will be 1, and since it is an inverted output, it will again be 0. So the entire information which is available here will be available at the lower order address bus. Now what happens when the ALE goes down? When the ALE goes down, the previous output will be latched at the output of the latch. So it was 6-7, and the 6-7 has been latched at the output, and the lower order address bus is now free either to bring the information from the outside world to the inside of the microprocessor, or something that can be written from the inside of the microprocessor either to the memory or to the IO devices. Hope we have understood the data address demultiplexing of microprocessor 8085. Thank you very much.